Hello, so this is little nav maps, which is what I use to make my flight plans. So what you can see on the screen are all the different airspaces at the moment, restrictions and airspaces to fly through. So yesterday I started in Cardiff. So sorry, there's a couple of flights still being shown up on here. One of them was a flight just around Cardiff. And then the second flight took me up this dotted line until I got to about here when I was running out of fuel. And so I had to quickly use the GPS and land at Welshpool. I then took off from Welshpool, which is the video I posted yesterday, and flew to Wallasey at 114.10 VORDME. I think about this point or somewhere I should have been asking. Let's check the flight areas. Yeah, so when I entered into Wallasey, I should have been asking for a change of airspace. Then we went over this route here to the Isle of Man. So what we were actually heading for was the IOM Isle of Man VORDME. But then when we got close, saw the airport, turned in and did a very bad landing. So my next flight, which we're going to do today, I think is going to be to Cork, but we may just do a quick flight to Belfast or Aldegrove first, then down to Dublin. So I think we'll go to Aldegrove. So this might be a good way to show you how to do a flight plan. So at the moment, I've got a flight plan in the yellow line to Shannon down in Cork. But I'm going to get rid of that. No. So you just right click there, set as departure. So the Isle of Man is now your departure. And we're going to go first of all to add the VORDME of Belfast to the route. So we're going to head to Belfast. And that'll be our flight today. And then we'll head from Belfast down to Dublin and over to Cork later on. So you get to see a bit of the this sort of little sea that's in the middle of, it's not a lake, it does open directly onto the ocean, so it's a little sea in the middle of Ireland. I don't know Irish geography at all. That's a loch. And we'll get to see Aldegrove. But yeah, that's how you add it. So you add Belfast VORDME, and then I want to go down and add Aldegrove as the arrival. So it's pretty easy. So it gives you two things. It gives you time of cruise. So from here and for 13.8 nautical miles, we should be ascending. Then we cruise 5,000 feet. And then we begin descending about 12.8 nautical miles or time of descent. And we arrive at the airport. So let's get on with it. So we're here at the Isle of Man. We've got our flight plan. So we're heading to Belfast VORDME, which is at 117.20 frequency, and we're landing at EGNS, which is EGAA, which is Aldegrove in Northern Ireland. So quick startup. So check control surfaces are working. Trim. Done the exterior checks. Let's pretend we do them. Exterior checks. Everything looks great, Captain. Okay, we've done the exterior checks. So we'll get the battery master on. We'll get mixture prop to full and give it a little bit of throttle. Check magnetos to both. Check fuel is at both. Start the engine. So the engine is started. So check the flaps. Yeah, the flaps are fine. Check fuel. Let's get the alternator on. Let's get it to 1,200 RPM to warm it up. So waiting for the oil temperature to reach 30. Well, it's actually at 60 now. So we're okay. The engine has warmed up. So now we switch this to amps. We check the pitot heater's working. Yeah, there's a fluctuation in the ammeter, so the pitot heater's working. Check the artificial horizon, TDI, the other altimeter. Yeah, everything seems fine. Okay, so we are ready to taxi. Let's program in let's get our radios on and let's get our lights on because it's getting a bit dark. So there we go, radios are on. So we need to program in our first VORDME. So it's 117.2. There we go. So the DME's picked it up. Now we'll get in touch with ATC. So Team Rollinsway Tower. Crest IFR clearance.
Rollinsway Tower JACGX X-ray 654 IFR to Aldegrove ready to copy. X-ray 654 cleared to Aldegrove Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 26 climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 118.775 squawk 5322.
Okay, my transponder's been set. So we contact ground.
Rollinsway ground JACGX X-ray 654 with Echo ready to taxi IFR.
JACGX X-ray 654 taxi to and hold short of runway 26 via taxiway Delta. Contact
Taxi to and hold short runway 26 using taxiway Delta, Jax X-ray, X-ray 654.
So, okay, let's take the parking brake off. So we're going to taxiway Delta. Oh. And we should have checked left and right, which was not very good. So this is taxiway Delta. So off we go. Is this runway 26? I can't tell. Can't tell. Doesn't say. Put the parking brake on anyway and do our engine checks. So for our engine checks we need to go to 1500 RPM. Bit much. So we go to 1500 RPM. Then we get our... So while we were taxiing, by the way, we should have been checking turn and slip, rudders, brakes, and everything, but they're all working fine. So, so we will go magnetos to left. Should see about 100. Ooh, about 200 drop. That's quite a lot. Back to both. Should go back up. I was just below 1500 anyway. So it's just above 1500 anyway. Down to right. We've got the drop. Certainly within 50 of each other, so we go back to both. We want our pitot heater on, so we get our pitot heater on, and we're ready to take off. Let me just check I'm at the right runway. Yep, I'm at the right runway. So let's go take off. So I don't know. So yeah, I'm pretty new to this game. So yeah, I'm going left to take off. So I'm going left, even though the runway carries on quite way to the right. So okay, let's get the parking brake off. Let's get moving. Get flaps down to 1. Oh, not very good. Okay, let's get maximum throttle. Watch our airspeed rise. And up we go. Oh, not the best. 'Cause I'm talking, I imagine. Ah, shit. Oh well, we weren't clear to take off. There was something I forgot to do. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so we picked up the signal of the VORDME. We're gonna head that way. And get rid of the flaps. Trim up a bit. Okay, let's get our thing on target. So this is always awkward. So we need to be heading at 30, which we are. So we just climb now till 5,000 feet, then we cut back throttle, and we head out over the sea. And I think that's might be island over there that we can see. So we're climbing at 1,000 feet per minute, I think. Climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. And we'll be above these clouds, which is nice. Goodbye, Isle of Man. Oh, we didn't bring any luggage. Okay, start cutting throttle. Oh, wait a minute, don't cut throttle, let's do the mixture. There you go, mixture's right. Let's cut a bit of prop. Oh, mixture's wrong again. Let's cut prop by about 10%. Take us down out of the red. Now we cut the throttle. And we are cruising. Trim it a bit. Okay, very good. Above the clouds, cruising. adjust course. So we're cruising about 100 knots, 106 knots. Although indicated airspeed is probably, yeah, 106 knots on the dial as well as the DME, so they agree. And we're just going to cruise until we get to our time of descent, which is about 12.8 nautical miles, 13 nautical miles out. And we'll begin descending. So not the most scenic flight for you today, another flight over the sea, but we will be hitting land pretty soon. That bank of cloud you can see off in the distance is land. That is Ireland. How do I know that? Well, I've been sailing in the past, and when you're off the coast in a sailing boat, the land appears in the distance as a big bank of cloud because the cloud sits over the land, sort of hugs it. The things I've got to remember to do is to put my anti-ice engine, my carburetor heat, out when I am landing. I can't believe we took off without requesting clearance. That was so bad. There's a ship, probably can't see it on YouTube. There's a little ship down there. See if we can have a look at him. Looks like maybe an oil tanker. So it looks like we're hitting land quite soon. Yeah, it seems like you use a lot of fuel in the ascent, which makes sense, I suppose, because the engine's working flat out. So what I'm working on at the moment is, so I've been learning, well, basic flying. I mean, I have like memories from when I was a child and I played flight simulators, but I'm trying to do it properly this time and actually request clearance and all that kind of jazz, which I obviously didn't do now, and do the proper startups. Also, I've learned VORDME navigation using the CDI and the DME receiver. So, which I've really enjoyed doing because, you know, feels it just feels. I just really like it. I just think it's really cool. So how a VORDME works, or how a VOR, which is it's a radio transmitter which sends transmissions out omnidirectionally, and you know, sort of in a big circle around the transmitter. At every degree there is a signal going out, or you know, at a reasonable number of interval of degrees there's a signal going out, so that whatever direction you are away from the VORDME enemy, you can get towards it, and you can also navigate by your angle, you're heading away from it, and keep yourself on that heading using the CDI, so you can go towards and away. And if you've got multiple VORs, you can use them to kind of triangulate. Well, not really triangulate, because you may only have two. The Cessna 152 has two, but I believe it has no DME, which is sort of I like to know the distance. I think with a DME as well, you possibly don't need two CDIs, because you can judge things by distance. But so the DME gives you your distance from a radio transmitter, but it is in a way less accurate when you're close, because although it's not, and it's not in any way inaccurate, it's just a diagonal line straight to your plane. So on the ground you may be 3 miles away, but because you're 1,000 feet up, the DME will read 4 miles away, because that 1,000 feet is an extra mile of distance in a diagonal line from the DME transmitter. So the rule of thumb is, for every 1,000 feet above the DME you add a mile to its reading. So for example, we're probably about 40 nautical miles away now. I think that also only applies when you're close, because the further you are away, the closer it is to a ground reading. But yeah, there's other people can explain it better than me. So while we're flying, we keep an eye on the ammeter. Still getting charge. Keep an eye on the fuel temps, oil temp, and pressures. Everything looks alright, although oil temp is creeping up. So this is just a short flight. Correct that course. So as you saw, the CDI had deviated to the right, so we flew to 330 or 330 to line ourselves back up on the 300 heading with the VOR. So we're now arriving in over Ireland. Local time is 3:30. So we're supposed to be flying this at a cruise of 5,000 feet, but once we get a bit closer, we'll get a bit lower. So we're supposed to descend at about 13 nautical miles, but I think I'll start the descent about 20 nautical miles, so we get a bit of view of the scenery. Beautiful. So you can even see all the scratches in the window pane. So in this ship, you can plane, you can open the cockpit. I haven't managed to get it to work yet. I'm not going to do it now, but you can open the cockpit. Now, can I put my landing gear away? I don't know. I don't know if I can put my landing gear away. Let me just check the controls options for keyboard. Landing car. G. Okay, let's try that. No, I can't put my landing gear away. They are always out. Wow, the back ones look like they were always out, but the front one looked like it might. So So I'm hoping for a flight, just one flight, where I don't make any mistakes. Like forgetting to call for landing and takeoff clearance. Gaining a bit of altitude, so let's cut the throttle back a bit. So we're probably gaining altitude because we came out over the land, there was different air pressure. Yeah. I don't really know, I'm not a meteorologist. So this is the sea we saw on the map. Let's just do a little bit of a fly by this. So yeah, we're getting an indicated airspeed here of close to 112 knots, maybe 110, maybe 105 now. We're getting 97 over there, so there is some wind which is increasing our indicated airspeed relative to our DME speed. It's nice to have two checks on it. It's a little town. Might be a city, I don't know. But more like a town though. It's not huge. Already evening as far as the sun is concerned, even though it's only 3:30. That's winter in the British Isles. So let's see if we can do a better landing than yesterday when I landed on the Isle of Man. That really was not very good. So my friend gave me some tips. I mean, really, I'm landing badly because I'm too impatient to do the landing properly. I'll sit flying the plane for an hour, but I want the landing over and done straight away. I don't know why that is. Well, I'm too impatient to do it properly and don't get myself properly parallel and don't give myself enough time to descend, and yes, it's my fault. Beautiful though. This guy comes with me everywhere, doesn't say a word. Hasn't spoken in 10 years. I don't even know if he's qualified. We're landing at Aldegrove Airport. I think we'll begin our descent in a minute. so we get to see a bit of Ireland. Can't go too low though, because we'll lose the signal of the VORDME, so we'll probably take it down to about 3,000 feet. Yeah, let's start. So okay, let's start cutting the throttle and descending. So this is Dublin we're approaching now, big city. And the airport is off to the west of it a bit, or northwest a little bit. So we're descending at 500 feet a minute. So we'll have to curtail our descent and just come in at a lower altitude. Just so we get to see a little bit of the scenery, I thought. So Microsoft Flight Simulator is a great game for propeller games because the scenery is just great. It's just really good. Buildings are 3D. I mean, you can see. I don't know how well you can see on YouTube, but buildings are 3D. You can actually pinpoint your own house. I mean, I saw my house. I mean, it didn't look exactly like my house, but it was there where it should be in 3D. So if we stand up in our seat, it's a bit scary, you can see Dublin. Dublin in the sun. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. So I'm going to cut the throttle a little bit more. Maintain our descent. We're going off course. So this is when we should have been beginning the descent really, but I wanted to be a bit lower for this view into Dublin. So as we get closer to the, so we're at 10 nautical miles out now. As we get closer, the CDI will deviate more, as I discussed on the last video, but it will deviate more easily anyway. How are we doing for fuel? Ooh, we're in the red. 10 gallons left. Plenty of fuel for this. Passing Dublin to the airport, which is northwest of Dublin. And I believe this may be the airport. Could be. Well, let's get them on the blower.
X-ray X-ray 654 is type Scottish Aviation Bulldog, 7 miles west of Belfast, 2,300 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Oh, that wasn't Dublin, that was Belfast.
JSCTX X-ray X-ray 65 for Aldegrove approach. Squawk 5413.
Squawk 541 JACGX X-ray X-ray 654. Charlie airspace, JACGX X-ray X-ray 654. Aldegrove approach, JACGX X-ray X-ray 654, 6 miles southeast of Aldegrove. Request IFR to Aldegrove, ready to copy.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 654 is cleared to Aldegrove Airport as filed. Squawk 5413.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 654 cleared to Aldegrove Airport as filed. Squawk 541 tree.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 65 will read that correct. Radar contact 1,800 feet. Altimeter tree 0.18. Continue to Bravo Echo Lima turning and following heading tree 00 Brazil on navigation climb and maintain 5,000 feet.
Continue to Bravo Echo Lima turning and following heading tree 00. Proceed on course climb and maintain 5,000 feet.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to cancel this IFR. Oh my gosh.
X-ray 654, you are 4 miles southeast. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Bravo Echo Lima.
Can we see the airport?
Clear to Bravo Echo Lima.
Ooh, bad frames. So I thought this was the airport, but I don't think it is.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 65.
Runway 25.
Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Bravo Echo Lima transition. Clear to Bravo Echo Lima Jax X-ray X-ray 654.
So I can't see the airport. Oh, I hate this. I hate ATC. It's not easy to do when you're trying to look for an airport and you've got that woman. It's always the same woman. Let's gain some altitude. Is that the airport? Is that it?
JACGX X-ray X-ray 65. Or please expedite your climb 5,000 feet. JACGX X-ray X-ray 65 for climb and maintain 2,500 feet.
Climb and maintain 2,500 feet. Jax X-ray X-ray 654. Aldergrove approach JACGX X-ray X-ray 654. Cancel IFR at
Okay, there's runway 25.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 65 for IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated.
Right, good. She's shut up now.
Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Aldergrove Tower JACGX X-ray X-ray 654 is 1 miles northeast 1,600 feet with alpha to land.
JACGX X-ray X-ray 65 for Aldegrove Tower. Altimeter tree 0.18 wind 286 at tree. Enter left downwind runway 25.
Okay.
Enter left traffic runway 25 JACGX X-ray X-ray
So,
654.
When that IFR thing is going on, I have no idea what they're going on about. They just it is I just don't know what they're asking me to do. So I usually cancel it before I get there. press cancel, bit of that throttle, let's get parallel to it. Flaps down. Prop to full. Mixture to full. Carburetor heat on. So the indicated approach speed for this, not indicated approach speed, but the approach speed for this plane is supposed to be 100 knots, but that seems very high. So the landing speed is 70 knots. Oh, I don't think this is a Okay, let's just park here a minute. I don't think I was supposed to drive here. Let's acknowledge.
Going to 121.755 JACGX X-ray 654. Aldegrove ground JACGX X-ray 654. Request taxi to parking.
JACGX X-ray 654 taxi to general aviation parking.
Alright, well I don't know where that is, so let's just go look for a plane.
Taxiing to general aviation parking JACGX X-ray 654.
Looks like there's a plane over here. There we go. Parking brake on. Let's get rid of that. So, I have been told in this, what you're supposed to do is feather the mixture before you cut it out. Alternator off. Pitot heat off. Lights. I can't touch that light for some reason. So lights off. Radiate off. Magneto's off. Battery off. Fuel off. There we go. Flight complete.